Nerd to the Third Power presents Fools Who Ride The Dreamstone, Part 1.
Hey guys, what's going on? You are listening to something new to Nerd to the Third Power. As you may know, I am one of the hosts who occasionally drops in on this show. I am Mike the Birdman Dodd from thisweekingeek.net and occasionally terriblewarriors.com, and we're doing something a little bit different for you, our dear listeners. We are taking on an adventure, of high adventure, you may say, of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. That's right, we're starting an actual play podcast for you over the course of however long, until they die, until the adventure's over, or until my voice gives out and I am dropped to 0 hit points, or I fail a Constitution saving throw. So anyway, this adventure is called Fools Who Ride the Dreamstone. That's right, we're going to be playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition from Wizards of the Coast. And we're going to be kind of cinematic / rules light role-playing here. I may get some things wrong, you're just going to have to deal with that. But what matters is how we deal with the adventure at hand. Is it fun? Is it thrilling? Is it scary? Is it stupid? Well, you just have to wait and find out. So I want to throw things to my players around the table this evening, this afternoon, or whenever you happen to be listening to this audio piece. We're going to throw things to the usual Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Gonzo. Who the hell are you?
All right, well, my character is Marcus Hawk. He is a level 3 human fighter. I am a disgraced knight from the Kingdom of Elendia, a kingdom I made up. My lord was assassinated on my watch, and I am out looking to avenge his death and find his killer.
Fantastic. And then we're going to throw things, keeping within the United States of America, we're going to throw things over to one of the people I know who loves anime and all things nerdy involving critical hits, dice, and all such other things. That would be...
Hi, I'm Kat Thompson. I will be playing for this campaign Lenore Longfellow. She is a level 3 human cleric, and I have chosen to do something a little weird for me. I'm playing a homebrew plague doctor. Her whole family was killed by a plague, and she was actually raised by the Temple of Pelor, and she goes around curing people of diseases.
Excellent. And finally, our last character for this adventure, we're going to go over across the pond into merry old England. We are joined with...
Hello, I'm Skyblaze, and I'm going to be playing a level 3 High Elf Paladin named Alisaria Sunshadow. She is quite a young High Elf, but she has been trained as a Paladin in the temples of Tyr and Torna, and she's trying to earn money because her father's lands were sacked and burned by an invasion force. So she's trying to send money back home to make sure that all of her people don't starve.
Fantastic. So we have our adventures of Marcus, Alisaria, and Lenore, and we are setting our adventures in the Forgotten Realms of Faerun, which is typically the default setting for Dungeons & Dragons, but a few caveats to note before we start this adventure. Do not be beholden to the lore as it is written, simply because I've not read everything that Ed Greenwood has ever written, and I just kind of make some of this stuff up as I go along. However, the map still exists. The map is accurate. We are setting our adventure along the Sword Coast in Faerun. We find ourselves a little bit south of Baldur's Gate and south of the Wood of Sharp Teeth as they head towards the Sword Coast city of my own creation called Cambridge. Our adventurers have been given a quest as they leave Baldur's Gate. They've been, their adventuring guild has said, hey, something's going on in Cambridge. We think you guys can probably handle it. The lord of the city, Lord Braden Kilsh, has summoned our 3 adventurers in order to help him with a particular problem. He does not wish to communicate more via written scry, but he will tell them all when they arrive for the Festival of the Harvest, which is currently happening in Cambridge. They have been invited to stay at the Cambridge estate, and we find our adventurers on the road. It is currently mid-afternoon on a fairly bright and sunny fall afternoon in the lands of Faerun. So, you guys have been traveling. It'll take you probably another half day's ride. You could ride through the night, and you would arrive at Cambridge probably early in the morning if you wanted to keep going. But this is currently where you are. Marcus is leading the way with his faithful steed, whose name I completely forget right now.
Brago. And the rest of you have been given horses by your Adventurers Guild in Baldur's Gate. And what are you guys going to do? What are you guys going to talk about? How about that last adventure where you basically had the shit kicked out of you, but you've all been healed up by clerics and paladins. You've had a restful week of recovery. And tell me what happened the last time you guys went out on the road. What was the last adventure you guys went on? What made you level 3? I'll tell you what, I've never had a simple expedition to clear out a goblin nest go that wrong that quickly.
I don't think I've ever seen that many wolves in one place at one time.
At least we got plenty of money from selling all those wolf pelts, though.
Yeah, DM, how much money do we have?
Each of you is carrying approximately 50 gold on you apiece right now. So you're not over. So you've got some money that you've sold wolf pelts. You were given some from the guild itself to take care of expenses. And you're traveling pretty well. You don't have to exactly stay at the world's lowliest inns, but you will be provided with accommodations as you arrive in Cambridge, such as it is. So as you begin going down the road leading towards Cambridge, you can hear the lapping waves of the Sword Coast as you are traveling pretty close to the cliffs, and you can see the Sea of Swords, and you can occasionally hear seagulls and other birds kind of cawing overhead. Basically, the sounds of nature that you would encounter.
I wonder how it got to be called the Sea of Swords. Bit of an ominous name for an ocean, isn't it?
Indeed. I imagine many. I imagine there must be a reef or something out close to the shore that has caused many shipwrecks.
Absolutely, there are many shipwrecks. Many pirates and other cutthroats do make their way along the Sword Coast, going after many merchant vessels, but also not afraid to go after the various noble houses when they send out their ships to go along the many islands that dot along the Sword Coast, including the island of Chult, which is to the north, which is mysterious and is alleged to house many ancient tombs full of treasures, but also many dangerous traps and crypts as well. So the day kind of draws on. Day turns into evening. Evening turns into night. And you continue along the way, and you start to enter a little bit more of a forested area, kind of a little bit off towards the Wood of Sharp Teeth, which is known to be a forest full of werewolves and other lycanthropes. So definitely not the place you want to be hanging in around when it's nighttime. But you're far enough away that you can see the forest off in the distance. You're cognizant of it, but you don't have to necessarily go towards it. But you are out on the open road. You are exposed. But seeing travelers along the road is not uncommon. You've seen a few people pass by. A couple of wagons have passed. You see a couple of farmers. You've passed a couple of homesteads. In fact, one particular homestead off in the distance, you can see a huge roaring bonfire as they're, I guess, burning off any excess wood they have from building a new barn and whatnot. And you can see some of the family gathered around it as it's not far off the road, probably a couple of 100 feet. And what are you choosing to do at this time? You want to continue? Do you want to go up to the family? Maybe find a place to stay for the night?
Well, we definitely don't want to go into the forest. At least definitely not at night if it's full of werewolves. Well, I guess we could see if the family will offer us a cower for the evening. Maybe let us stay in their brand new barn.
Of course, we will offer financial compensation for their trouble, won't we?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, throw them a couple gold pieces.
So your group makes their way off the road. You're led up this dirt road that leads up to the homestead. It's rather large. You can see this huge barn, like I said, has just been built. The family's matriarch approaches you. He's got this big long beard. You can see his portly housewife is there and a bunch of kids. And they're having a grand old time. They're actually rather excited to see you because they don't see adventurers dressed in adventuring gear too often who stop off the road to come say hello. Usually it's just people coming to collect taxes and whatnot. So you approach. He identifies himself as Ben. And he's like, what can I do for you? Come sit by the fire. Warm yourselves. It's going to be a cold night tonight. Maybe we can interest you in some pork and some corn.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Thank you for your hospitality. We are 3 adventurers on our way to Cambridge, and we seem to have misjudged our travel time. So we were hoping that maybe we might seek succour for the evening in your homestead. I'm sorry.
Oh, absolutely! Come, please, come. He's like, I will have my sons and daughters will take care of your horses and make sure they're tied up for the night, and you can stay with us in the main house. Please, come closer. So, as Dr. Gonzo goes off to get pizza, which is not being served at this particular meal.
Maybe it's got sausage on it, and that's the pork.
There we go. I like the way this is going. So, as your group kind of gets integrated with this farm family, the stars start to come out. It's a beautiful night. There's a bit of a chill in the air, and things are welcoming. Things are seeming fairly good, all things considered, as you gather around the fire with Ben and his family. His wife identifies herself as Michelle. And the kids' names are Craig. And you also run into John and Raymond. So, as you're sitting there with Craig, John, and what did I say the other kid's name was? Yeah, Raymond.
Okay, so these are the sons?
Yes, these are the sons. They've all taken your horses. They've all been tied up. So you're just sitting around the fire. You're eating pork and corn. Benjamin and his wife Michelle are just talking with you, just having a time. He's like, so tell us about some of your adventures. We don't get off the farmstead too often. We obviously have to watch out for the lycanthropes, but typically the Cambridge Guard keeps a pretty good they send out a patrol every so often, keeps the wolves at bay, if you wish to say. And just tell us what brings you down towards our way.
Well, we heard some rumours that there was some sort of problem in Cambridge, and we were asked to go and see if we could lend any aid.
You see them kind of exchange looks. They're like, no, Cambridge is a perfectly peaceful town. I don't see trouble. That's a word we never hear associated with that particular city. I mean, the patrols come out. It's safe. It's been tremendously prosperous. In fact, the city grows more and more each year. We wonder if we're going to have neighbors for probably the next 5 years, truth be told.
Well, if we're being totally honest, the Lord hasn't told us much about what we're going to be working on, so you frankly know as much as we do about what trouble might be going on down there. He refused to give us any details in his written message.
He goes, do you know why people come to Cambridge in particular?
I fear I do not. I am actually not from these lands. I am from a kingdom far to the northwest of here.
He goes, the reason people come to Cambridge is, well, without putting too fine a point on it, have you ever had a good night's sleep that you never wished to wake up from? That was just so restful that it was almost a sleeping death? The thing that makes Cambridge so special is it's known as the City of Nice Dreams. Lots of people come there to retire. They pay tribute to Lord Kilsh and the lordship there, and They are allowed to stay as long as they pay their taxes, pledge loyalty to the city, and it's a place that common folk, but also our aristocratic nobles tend to flock to as well. It's safe from most of the dangers of the Sword Coast, outside of its small port, and but there's something about it that I'm not particularly. I don't trust something that promises a nice dream every single night. There's just something about that doesn't sit right with me. A man should have a healthy fear at the same time.
Indeed. Now, Kilsh, is that the name of the lord that contracted us for this job?
Yes, Lord Braden Kilsh.
Okay. Alright. Trying to figure out what I was going to say, and I lost my train of thought. Kat, you say something.
You say something.
I was actually going to ask if I could make a history check to see if I know anything about the city.
Absolutely.
Let's see which dice isn't going to screw me today. Let's see, 12 plus 3 is 15.
Okay, so you know that Cambridge is a city that's fairly new. It's only been around a couple of 100 years. There is rumor, and there is definitely stuff that's been talked about Cambridge, definitely in the major cities like Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep. You've heard that Cambridge itself is known as the City of Dreams, and it's mostly talked as a city that is rapidly growing through expansion. There are mines nearby. It's got a fairly accessible port. It makes sense. It's just a city for good business. But there is something outside of that, too, that there seems to be rumor about it, too. There seems to be a very powerful aura of magic about the city that nobody really talks about. There are 2 churches in the city that you're aware of. There is a church of Mystara, which seems to be the more prominent church there. And there's also a church of Lathander as well, which seems to be the primary places of worship down there. One of the other rumors down there is that the family that has been in control of Cambridge, the Kilshes, have been established for several generations, but nobody really knows where they've come from. That's some information you were able to gather before you left Baldur's Gate. You did do a little bit of reading about the city before you left. And there aren't a whole lot of books on it, as it is fairly recent, but that's the information you were able to glean from memory.
Okay.
I will relay that to my comrades.
Okay.
Can I do a religion roll then, see if I know anything about these church?
Yes.
Okay. 14... 17.
Okay, so the 2 churches that, as Lenore was able to explain, are the Church of Lathander, who's the goddess of light, vitality, etc., and Mystara is the goddess of magic.
Yeah.
So these particular religions are fairly strong in the south. Magic is primarily, well, it's one of the most powerful forces in the world. Cambridge may have a higher than usual amount of sorcerers in that particular area, and a lot of people do come to study magic down there, as it's fast growing, which means there's a lot of resources. A lot of resources mean material components. So a lot of people tend to come down that way. You've heard nothing outside of the standard people, just it's a resource rush. It's a great place to kind of study. Outside of that, you can't think of anything in your religious background that may draw Cambridge as a particular city of note, other than it's rapidly expanding.
Okay. And then, Mike, I want to make a history check as well to see if my former Lord Uriah Tristan, a diplomat of Elendia, has ever had dealings with the Kilsh family. So.
Okay, so roll me a d20. Add any appropriate modifiers, since I know this is your first time.
All right, so let's try this metal dice here. Okay, 14, and I have +4 for history, so that comes to 18.
Yes, actually. Clan Fireforge, which is the Dwarvish clan, has had particular dealings with Cambridge, particularly when it comes to sending architects down there to help design buildings, establish mining colonies down there, and whatnot. So, yeah, your family has had dealings down there, particularly, like I said, there's a lot of gold to be made right now. There's a lot of platinum to be made right now. So Fireforge is definitely interested in lining their pockets, but also establishing good relations with another potential power in the region of Faerun.
But I have had no personal knowledge of Kilsh himself.
No, you've only heard he's a good guy. His family is fairly well liked in the region. He's a bit of a weirdo. He's a little bit eccentric. Like, think of Happy Santa Claus would be a good way to describe the guy. He's very over-the-top happy. And that's all you've really heard about him. His wife, Lorella, seems to primarily be the one who runs the day-to-day of Cambridge, whereas Braden himself sort of minds the people, but Lorella's the one who keeps the book, so to speak.
Okay. All right, I'll relay that to my comrades.
Okay. So the evening draws further and further on. Ben and Michelle say, well, we're going to take our leave. If you want to follow us inside, we'll show you guys to a common area you guys can all share. And in the morning, we'll have bacon, eggs, and some fresh bread. And then we'll send you on your way to Cambridge.
Can I roll an insight check on them?
You can.
To see if I think they're being forthright.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, 4 total.
I like bacon.
Wow, these people seem nice. Let's go.
You don't
All right.
sense any particular motive.
Yeah, they're offering you bacon. All other concerns are secondary.
Can I? Let's see now. Okay, I have a passive insight of 10. Does that get me anything?
What is your bonus to that? That should be your proficiency bonus.
I don't have it. I'm just looking at the passive senses.
What's your wisdom?
Window. My wisdom is 11.
Okay, so that's 0. So, no, you don't sense anything up with them. They seem just genuinely happy to see you.
Okay.
They're just glad for the company.
All right. Well, I'm gonna follow my nose on this one and say thank you for the accommodations and for the generous breakfast.
All right.
I will in turn offer them a blessing of fear, because he is one of the gods of fertility and grain and harvest and so on.
You do?
And offer them a couple of gold pieces.
Okay.
For their generosity.
All right. So as you do this, you are led inside a rather large stone house. You're shown to a rather large common area. And they're like, well, we'll bring you out a couple of bedrolls and some pillows and some blankets. And they do that. They set you up for the night. And they go upstairs. Their kids go to their rooms. And you go to sleep for the night.
Well, this is certainly better than sleeping on the cold ground.
It's a nice change.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you all go to sleep, all of you roll me wisdom.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, thank you.
Just
Nice.
rolling a d20 plus our wisdom plus proficiency.
Yes.
Okay, so I came up with an 11.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Okay, so Lenore.
19 for me.
Okay, so Lenore and Alisaria, you both have troubling nightmares during the night. You see visions of fire. You see visions of a town on fire. You also see something walking through the streets, just striking people down. left and right, people screaming and writhing in agony. And for half a second, you can get a clear look at something's face. You see this person, this muscular body, but also has 4 wings covered in this gritty kind of blackish slime. But this otherworldly, handsome face that has this vicious-looking bird beak sticking out of it. And you see him flanked by a person clad in jet black armor. Think of the Daedric armor from like Skyrim sort of thing. Wicked curved swords just cutting people down. And you see him holding this large, what looks like a multifaceted jewel that glows red from the inside. You see them both holding this jewel, and as they continue to cut people down in the street, as you're kind of watching this from the outside, they both stop, and immediately you can feel as if they're almost looking at you directly, piercing you right in the eye. And then you wake up the next morning. What did you roll again, Marcus? You rolled an 11?
An 11.
You see the exact same thing in your dreams. However, you do not get a restful sleep. You suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay, how do I note that on my character sheet?
All right. Exhaustion is a condition, and I will tell you how to do that. I just need to pull it up.
Here we go. I found it
Yeah,
on...
there's active conditions.
Yes.
Okay, so of 1 exhaustion?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty.
So.
Oh, God. I don't know about you guys, but I had the most messed up dream, and I did not get any good rest out of that. What about you two?
I feel fine, but I also had very unpleasant dreams.
I'm actually like engaging in my morning prayer ritual with quite a bit more fervency than normal.
Yeah, I need to do that too. I've never played a cleric before, so I know I need to ritual prepare my spells and stuff.
So it looks like none of us had any good dreams last night. Well, I guess that'll teach us to eat spicy food before bedtime. What was yours about? Mine was about this vicious hell beast basically rampaging through a town and slaughtering people. 4 wings, bird beak, and something about some weird gem.
The goblet of water I was using to make to bless was suddenly falls out of my hand and splashes all over the floor. What did you say?
Vicious hell beast rampaging, killing people
with
4
the
wings.
sharp bird of prey beak and wings.
And a curved sword and a strange gemstone.
That would be the one, yeah.
For sure.
And Lenore?
Yeah. Same dream, I think. That's really weird.
That's not normal.
No, it isn't. And didn't Ben say something about Cambridge being a town of pleasant dreams?
Well, we're not in it yet.
Huh.
There.
So as you all wake up and begin having this discussion, Ben and his wife come down the stairs with their children. They're like, "Good morning. Hope I trust you all slept well last night."
I'm going
Of
to.
course.
Yeah,
Yes, of course we did. Nudging
Yes.
him. Look,
I'm gonna make a persuasion check to see if I can pass this off as like we had a pleasant sleep and there was nothing for them to be concerned about.
Okay.
So, all right. So that's a 19, and I get a +4 on my persuasion proficiency.
Oh, they believe you. They're like, "Excellent. Well, I'm glad you had a nice restful sleep. I trust my wife's cooking last night was a very substantial part of that. So, excellent."
It certainly was. My compliments to the chef. You are a very fortunate man to be married to such a fine cook.
Michelle kind of blushes, and she runs into the kitchen with her husband to start cooking you all breakfast. The kids are all sort of looking at you. They're like, "Can I see your sword?"
I politely decline, as I don't want to risk the young'uns hurting themselves on my blade.
I, however, will disengage the enormous greatsword from my back and lay it very carefully across my arms and be like, "Don't touch, but you can look."
Braggart.
Craig, the child, looks at the other one and goes, well, I can't lift it, so neither can you. Well, ha! The other kids start kind of laughing at each other, saying, you can't lift it, you can't lift it.
Okay. I'm going to move out to the stables to make sure that my retainers have awoken and that they've begun preparing our horses for our departure.
Your retainers slept with the horses. Oh, that is so sad.
So your retainers, which I completely forgot about until just this minute, yes, were left outside.
They popped back into existence. There we go.
And while I'm briefing them, I want to ask them how their sleep was.
They look like they stayed up all night doing cocaine. They look like hell.
Oh, no! Oh, that's sad.
You boys haven't been doing the moon sugar again, have you?
Nope! Just fine! Just really freaking fine! Can we please get on the road, sir?
As soon as possible. Come, please, join us for breakfast.
Yes!
You look like you need it.
Yes, the food is good. Must eat now.
Okay.
Hoyle!
Hoyle?
So, they walk inside. They don't look good. In fact, one of them rather looks unhinged.
Are your retainers all unwell?
I pull Moses aside and I just kind of whisper, Moses, just out of curiosity, did you have any strange dreams last night involving vicious hell beasts and murder and slaughter and the death of all good people?
He looks you dead in the eye.
Oh no.
He wants to lie. He's gonna try. And
Moses, you need not lie to me. I will not think less of you, and I think I may have had the same dream.
He rolled. Well, if you want to roll contested, he rolled a 24.
All right. Well, I'll roll a persuasion check to see if I can't get him to tell me the truth.
Okay.
17 plus 4 is 21.
Yeah. Nope. It doesn't happen. He's like, no, sir. Just really wild dreams, wenches. Yeah. That's how it went down. Good times.
Okay. Well, get yourself some breakfast, and we shall be on the road. As we will be on the road shortly.
All right. So your retainers have some of the scraps that were left out in the morning, and you all begin the trek towards Cambridge. So after a couple hours on the road, you eventually emerge into the busily building city of Cambridge. You can see constant construction going on of new houses. You can see the port from where you enter town. There's cobblestone streets. There's tons of stores, inns. Lots of various races are mixing here, even some ones you've never seen before. It's a busy town. So you know the Kilsh Estate is towards the south end of the city. It's been marked on a map for you, which is the more upper class part of the city. So yeah, you have run of the town. You can do whatever you have to do here.
Okay, so you said that we have accommodations on the Kilsh Estate already?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Before we even get into town, I am going to put on my Plague Doctor mask.
Okay.
Because I'm going into a town, I don't know what kind of diseases or whatever might be running through town, so I'm going to put on my Plague Doctor mask. And it's probably sort of similar to what we all had a dream about last night. Because it is full on, like, bird beak, and the beak is filled with all kinds of, like, herbs and stuff to, like, make it not smell terrible. To protect from, like, disease and poisons and stuff. And then I've got, like, a white-brimmed hat on, and it's very much like the Plague Doctor look.
You're basically trying to freak us out with looking like you did, like the thing in the dream did, huh?
I wear this mask all the time, so you've seen it before.
All right. Well, I guess as we're riding into town, I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna basically look around us as we ride in, see if I can't find any good bars or wench houses or.
The one that seems to be the most active at this time of day, because you arrived in the town probably a little after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, is one that is known as the Crying Jester. It has this ridiculously cartoonish jester on its outside sign. It's been all painted and stylized. It's got some chairs outside. You can hear there's a big window that's open right now. You can hear raucous laughter coming out of there. You can smell what smells like stew and probably venison being cooked. It smells good, and all the townsfolk around you seem in a relatively good mood so far.
Okay. Well, we probably want to press on to the Kilsh estate and find out what our business is. So I'm going to pass my retainers 2 gold pieces and tell them to go ahead and go into the Crying Jester, get themselves some proper food. And then I will come and retrieve them after we have gotten our briefing from the Lord.
Okay, so
as we ride through town, I'm going to be keeping an eye out and see if anybody has dark circles under their eyes or is looking.
Give me a wisdom
unwell.
check for that.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Dice. 21.
You notice quite a few people actually have dark circles under their eyes. You definitely get people are in a good mood, but they seem tired. Just almost as if they were up all night with unpleasant dreams.
I will be discreetly pointing that out to my 2 comrades.
You know, now that you mentioned, everyone does seem a little fatigued. All right. Maybe it has something to do with our business here.
So, as you begin making your way through town, you start to head towards the Kilsh estate, and you pass through what would essentially be the town center. You see lots of people setting up booths and carts selling various wares, but you also see a rather large stage being set up, and you see decorations. You see scarecrows pinned on lamp posts, stuff like that, as if they're preparing for the aforementioned festival of the fall harvest, which should probably, given the time you left Baldur's Gate, probably happening at least in the next couple of days anyway. So you just notice a lot of people preparing for that. You get passed by a group of surly looking dwarfs who are carrying stuff that's probably too heavy for them.
I want to real quick. I want to make a check to see if these are dwarves of Clan Fireforge.
Okay.
So what am I checking against?
Wisdom. Basically, you're gonna use your perception to see if you notice anything.
17.
You notice Fireforge brands on their arms. So yes, these are Clan Fireforge worker class.
I wonder if Kathra has come with them.
So, as you start pressing towards the Kilsh estate, the houses get nicer and nicer. The people start getting dressed a little bit nicer as well. You're noticing a lot more human and elves in this particular part of the city. And you're also noticing a fair chunk of cat people as well, actually. So, you eventually start making your way towards the Kilsh estate. It is on the far end. It's on the south end of town. You see lavish garden mazes set up. You can see marble fountains. The guard stops you. A pair of guards rather stop you at the entrance over this marble archway, and they're like, "Who goes there?"
Marcus Hawk and companions here to see Lord Kilsh about a contract with our Adventurers Guild, and I show him my signet ring as proof of my identity.
I assume we have some sort of contractual document that we can pass over.
Yes, you have the writ. You pass over the writ, and it's signed by your Adventurers Guild. The guards both look at each other and goes, please proceed up to the main house. Someone will meet you at the courtyard. So you start walking through, and you can see, like I said, there's elegant greenery. It smells of roses and lilacs. This place is incredibly well maintained. So you start walking through. Eventually you come out to this large courtyard. You can see a huge marble fountain with Mystara, the goddess of magic, pouring water, which is coming out of like a gourd or something that she happens to be holding. And a middle-aged woman comes out dressed in like these elaborate robes, and she goes, "Greetings. My name is Mari. I am the court wizard. I understand you are the adventurers that have been sent from Baldur's Gate?"
We are.
Well, if you would please follow me, I will bring you to Lord and Lady Kilsh, and we'll have a discussion of what has been going on of late. So, Mari leads you through up this giant staircase into the main house. Once again, you see incredible glasswork. The place smells unusually clean, actually. But you see servants kind of running back and forth, delivering food, cleaning the floors, all sorts of things. All sorts of action. The place seems very, very busy. And you're led into this kind of like, I wouldn't call it a throne room, but I'd call it kind of a meeting hall, sort of like a main hall area. And you see Lord and Lady Kilsh sitting upon two chairs, and they're just kind of talking back and forth. They're dressed, once again, very elegantly, yet comfortably. Aristocratically would be a good way to describe it, in these red and white robes. And Lord Kilsh is there's no way around it saying he's a big fat guy. He probably weighs around 350 pounds. He's got this big full beard, but his eyes are very, very bright, very happy to see you. His lady is this tall, blonde beauty. She's got these piercing blue eyes, almost the color of ice. And but her smile is very warm, very, very, very welcoming. You can hear laughter coming out of the kitchen. So you enter the hall, they notice you, and they're like, "Adventurers, welcome!" The lady goes, "Oh, Brayden, you don't need to be so dramatic." And as you enter, they're like, "I presume you are the adventurers sent from Baldur's Gate, the Adventurers Guild sent you?"
We are. I am Marcus Hawk. These are my fellow adventurers, Lenore and Alisaria.
Ah, you've brought a plague doctor. Interesting.
I tip my very long brimmed hat.
And I bow the customary level of one noble greeting another.
Not very much at all.
They look at the paladin.
I also bow.
And a holy warrior. Interesting. Perhaps you'll be able to help us with our problem. Please, come accompany us and Mari. So they lead you out of the main hall and towards a more intimate sort of library setting. This is probably Mari's library / laboratory. You have a couch literally walks itself out of the wall, plunks itself behind you, and they're like, "Please, take a seat."
So we sit.
So you all sit down. Brayden and Lorella stand beside Mari, and they're like, "Well, if you're here, then there's a problem. A difficult problem, and you are not the first adventurers that we've sent for. Where do we start this?" Okay. Brayden's like, "Lorella, we got to tell them. We got to tell them the truth. They are here to help us. But first, Brayden goes, let me explain something to you. This city is something that I love. I've loved this town since I was a boy. I was born in the power, but I do not take advantage of that power. I care for these people. All races, all creeds, everybody. Everybody in this town is welcome. But something is causing my town people pain. And I need your help. We need your help to deal with this because we don't know what is causing it. But I can't tell you much more than my people are sick. This is where I'm going to have to pass things over to Mari, and she'll explain it a little bit better." Brayden and Lorella sit down. Mari stands up and goes, "The thing that keeps Cambridge so special, we're known as the town of nice dreams. We're known as a business community, a retirement community, a place to come and raise your family. But we're welcome to everybody, although we do try to keep out some of the riffraff. That's just the way things are. You understand. We have something here known as the Dreamstone. The Dreamstone is a relic that was gifted to the Kilshes hundreds of years ago by the goddess herself, Mystara. The Dreamstone is a relic that grants the users of it nice dreams. That's it. That's all it does. Gives you pleasant dreams. Allows you to live your dreams every time you go to sleep. In essence, who wouldn't want to go to sleep knowing that life is going to be better when you go to sleep? It's going to be welcoming no matter what. No matter how hard your life is, it's always there's going to be something to look forward to at the end of every day. And the Kilshes wanted to share that with the town they were building. They wanted to give everybody the same dreams they had. And so Mystara granted the ability of the stone to be used upon the entire town. Then something changed. About a month and a half ago, someone stole it. We don't know how. We don't know why. But everything in Cambridge is slowly starting to fall apart. Everybody thinks it's just them or something, or they've done something to anger the gods. There are rumors in the streets that maybe something's happened to the Dreamstone, but no one is outright saying it. The people are starting to get worried. The people are starting to get scared. That's why we need you adventurers to come and help us. Do you think this is something you all can do?
Okay.
Do you have any leads? Do you know who it might have been? Are there any other leads?
We don't have anything. I mean, there are people in town that maybe would have wanted to go after us, but we can't see why. We've been so good to this town. I mean, the Lord and Lady Kilsh have done nothing but give money and charity to the poor and rich alike, to the sick and the well. We can't see why anybody would possibly do this.
What was around the time that the Dreamstone was stolen? What was occurring in the wider town? Was there any unusual passersby, or maybe some new spate of workers coming in to work on the town, or anything unusual that was occurring in the wider area that you can think of?
There was a wizard had brought in some workers from Clan Fireforce to do some digging out in the forests, out in the Cloakwood, which is a little bit north of the city here. They came in. There was a pirate captain had recently had her ship docked here. She was not exactly a pirate as in the traditional sense. She was a water witch, her name being Thera. She basically rescued people who were attacked by pirates, but is often considered a pirate nonetheless because rob to the rich, give to the poor sort of thing. We kind of looked the other way because she was helping people. We have had some problems here in town with, we have our own thieves guild. What city this size doesn't at this point? And that's run by Jairus, this disgusting half-orc. Lady Lucella, or Lorella rather, pipes up. She goes, well, we did lose some of our guard ship recently. We sent them out on a diplomatic mission, and most of them came home, but the problem is the diplomacy didn't go the way we wanted it to. Cambridge wanted to establish a new trade route with another city, and that proposal didn't exactly go well.
Out of curiosity, having worked with diplomats myself, With what kingdom or land were you trying to establish ties?
We were trying to establish ties with the land of Ordo, which is a smaller keep kingdom off not too far to the south of here. They primarily deal in like sorcerers and whatnot, in the regards that they train wizards and sorcerers down there, hire them out as magical muscle, so to speak. So it's a wizard school. We wanted to establish a better relation. We have access to resources they don't. We figured, hey, let's work together. They're like, no, we don't need you. Come down here again with that higher than thou attitude. We'll show you what's what.
So we have dwarves, a water witch, and a very hostile neighboring power.
Who else knew about this Dreamstone?
It's always been rumored in the town. The only people who have ever seen the Dreamstone for themselves is us, the lordship, the town's guard know of it, and basically anybody in high society knows of it. The common folk are aware of it, but they've never seen it.
I would like to propose a potential course of action, if my colleagues would agree with me.
Indeed. If you would, should we excuse ourselves from the lords to discuss privately, or?
I don't think that's entirely necessary.
Okay.
First of all, my lord and lady, if you could provide us with a list of anyone who would potentially wish to harm you, that would be a good start from where we can begin an investigation. Secondly, this head of the Thieves Guild, do you think that he might take a job to steal the Dreamstone from one of your enemies?
I could see Jarvis doing that. We have an uneasy alliance, but as Cambridge grows in prosperity, the less we can tolerate. So we could see him potentially doing that. So as we begin to find out what's happening in Cambridge between the lordship, the powers that be, and potentially other sources of intrigue, well, you'll have to tune in to find in next week what happens to our fools who ride in this adventure I've called the Dreamstone here on Nerd to the Third Power. So I have been your game master for this evening, this afternoon, whenever. I've been Mike the Birdman Dodd. I've been joined with the Master of Ceremonies himself,
Dr. Gonzo.
And of course the anime goddess,
The cat.
And over the pond,
Skyblaze.
Until next time, make sure you are always rolling your dice flat on the table, never roll a natural one. And remember, a deck of many things is not something you want. A DM will always find a way to screw you over.